everyone, welcome to another episode of our podcast. Today we have with us another amazing person who's working in Supreme Court of India. She's a female lawyer, young and dynamic. She also practices in many other tribunals, Rajasthan High Court, to name a few. And more power to you, Sommya, for being here. Thank you for joining us.
For having me today.
Yeah, so Soumya has also been practicing in the chambers of Mr. Salman Khurshid, as she specializes in many other fields, and we're sure that you're gonna, mark on new achievements as time passes by. So let us get on with our first question. How has it been practicing in India, more so like litigation, and how has your journey been from being a student to practicing in now, especially since you're in Delhi in High Court of Supreme Court of India, and I'm sure like you're in the major leagues right now. So how does it feel to be there, part of that fraternity?
It feels amazing, and the journey has been thrilling, and it has been a bumpy ride till yet. But then it has been an amazing journey. Very tough ride, but now I think that I feel empowered and I feel that I know my rights, things like that. So it is a very good and empowering profession for females, especially if females are willing to come ahead and work as a litigant lawyer.
That's amazing, Soumya. Also, how does it? The percentage of female lawyers to male lawyers is abysmal, because we often see, like, I was checking the stats, and like I think hardly like 2 to 5%, 10%, we'll see like variation is there amongst different courts, but the numbers are pretty low. So it's quite concerning. And what can be the possible reasons, like, and how to like motivate females to enter this fraternity?
See, I think basically females face difficulty in this profession is because litigation, first of all, is very time-consuming profession. You need to invest a whole lot of time in it, and then it's demanding your expertise, your hard work, consistency. There, I think over the years, when females they get married, have kids, and have a family life, where I think then they have a little difficulty in balancing, but I think many females, they have done exceptionally well, and we look ahead for them to, be like them someday or the other. But it becomes really difficult to manage family along with the profession, which is quite demanding. Therefore, I think females, they, at some point of time, they just quit the profession or take a back seat, or just because it requires regularity in court, deep studies, a lot of research. So with the family life, they are unable at some point. But exceptions are always there. Some females have done exceptionally well. So I'm sure that there would be a change, but there are certain gray areas which are required to be worked upon, because family support is the must if you wish to enter this field. So if your family is supportive, then I think many females, they make through and they sail through the journey very fluidly.
I was also like getting onto this point only, that women most often in India feel so much of problem in like cutthroat fields like litigation and even medical professional, and to name a few. The reason being primarily that you have domestic liabilities and responsibilities, and it's unfortunate that sometimes families don't really support women in such fields. But I think if you're choosing to enter a field like that, I feel that you have to make decisions around that, because ultimately otherwise it will affect your career and also your domestic. So you should be, I think, quite aware.
I think balancing is the art of life. If you can balance, then I think you'll excel in the profession as well. If you can't balance, then as well amongst the profession also, you need a lot of balance in your life, balance in your thoughts, balance in your arguments, balance in your research. So if you're good at balancing, I think we'll be able to make it. But balancing must be, taught in a manner that females they sail through the journey.
Also, like Soumya, the work regulations that we have in like litigation in India presently, like correct me if I'm wrong, but most often offices are open on Sundays and people are working, I think 7 days a week. Most of the time,
Yes.
so can that be regulated and make it more of a balance, work-life balance, to bring in people or motivate people to like enter the field?
Yes, definitely. That's the need of the hour. But see, just like a medical professional, if you have an emergency, where being a female doctor or male doctor, if you have an emergency, you will have to rush to the hospital, not seeing that whether it's a Saturday or a Sunday or an official holiday. So, litigation is quite similar to that. If you have an urgent case coming up, no matter what, it's a Sunday or Saturday, you'll have to be there in the office, do some research. But I think, see, if you want to excel in litigation, and more so for females, I find that finding a good mentor, finding a good person to work under is the basic key, because females, they can't. I think it is equally same for males, but then females they need a upper hand in the nature of office they are working, because you obviously need some decent lifestyle, decent setup of the office. So therein, the first hurdle that comes for females is to find a good lawyer to work under, a good mentor who understands. And then I think if your hard work proves that you are capable of doing work, most of the offices they do consider, and they are female, like they understand the responsibilities of females, and most of the offices, not only litigation offices, but I think most of the major law firms they are coming with female friendly regulations and female friendly work styles.
I was actually
Because if you say, because see Palak, if you say that females have to reduce on a little responsibility, that means males have to come on a forefront and take a little responsibility from females. So I think the law firms now they are understanding the culture, and then they are coming up with such work-life rules and such atmosphere, so that they can both balance and work together.
Yeah, so I was getting on to the second question about this only. That in India, usually we have two routes post the education that you complete or the degree that you get after entering the legal field. You either take up like the route of litigation, or you get on to like working for these law firms and even like companies as legal counsels. So which out of the two is the more preferred one for women, and like why? Because as per I see, I think litigation is some area where women most often shy away from it, and being a legal counsel for a company or just joining a law firm gives them more stability. But again, like labor rules at law firms are also like a point of concern for many, and people often crib that there are no proper working hours and you're working like crazy on most.
I think yes, Palak, I think the working hours, even if you become a legal counsel somewhere, it's in parallels only with litigation, because both of them are quite demanding. But see, being a legal counsel or being an advocate, it is first of all, it's a personal choice, and moreover the experience that you get over years, over which field you wish to enter into. And then, see, as a legal counsel, the difference lies here that as a legal counsel, you will be a solicitor, as it is in England, that there's a difference between solicitor and a barrister. So solicitor would always solicit work for the barrister, and the barrister appears in the court of law. Similarly, in India, it's not defined anywhere, but similarly, a legal counsel in a company would be only concerned with the companies, or the work would mostly be related to company oriented. Whereas as a litigation lawyer, you get exposure to a wide area of law, wide exposure to different problems in the country, different problems in the life of people, and if you think you want to make a difference in the lives, I think litigation is the key to that, because only through that you can have an impact and fight for the rights of people and fight for people at large. You can opt for public interest litigation, or even if you go for a private interest litigation, wherein I think the faces you see after you win an argument or you win a case for somebody who's actually suffering, that satisfaction, I think no one can beat that. So if you have the will to achieve that satisfaction, then litigation is the choice for you. And if you want a balanced life and more so stability in the job and things like that, then legal counsel is a good profession wherein your major work forte would be company oriented.
That's really important. I feel that, like entering litigation can definitely give you a taste of the slice of life where you're like staying connected to the society and the social sector also, because here the role is not just you're a lawyer, but you're also a lawyer for the people and
Yes.
for the public in general, and getting that kind of
Being into litigation, you get to know so many people who come to you with their problems, and you get to know so much about society at large that I think a legal counsel in parallel would not get to deal with in that numbers. So it depends on the area of interest of an individual.
Also, like I've heard many people complain that they're often paid quite less compared to how they're paid in corporates, and this is also one major reason why people
Yes.
would prefer going to corporates or law firms then practice litigation, because it takes a certain period and certain number of years to build on or get to a level where you're paid as much as a person who's working in a corporate sector is getting paid. So
Yes, definitely.
yeah, so I think that's also one of the main reasons.
Yes, definitely in litigation for the initial few years, the struggle is really difficult. Like you have to manage. So only if you wish by heart and that you want to be in the profession, only then I think the survival and consistency is possible. Otherwise, those who and I've seen, see over the years, I've also met so many lawyers and have a word with them and about their journeys and their struggles. So if you are consistent and if you really want by heart, I think work just pours in, and then definitely a channel is created for your success. But if you just do it out of, because I have nothing to do, so I'm into litigation. That way, and that person who does litigation being the first choice, there is always a difference you'll see in the success of those two people. So the mindset should be created in such a manner that if you are doing because nothing is there, and then you crib about that litigation does not offer anything, I think it is wrong on their part. And the one thing that, okay, I'll do my best and then I'll see whether I succeed or not. I think they generally do succeed.
That's really important. Also, like
Yes.
people who just start off, like say at the age of 17, 18, when you enter a law school, I'm sure that a person is not even an adult properly, and you're just budding away, blooming away, just entering the world where you might not even be fully aware of your choices at 25 or 30 or 35. So how does
Yes.
a student entering law school decide their area of specialization at that age, say at 22, 23, and or the right age to decide your specialization, say criminal law or like human rights law, or you want to
In
get
the law curriculum these days, I think all the colleges they mandate the internship program. And if you ask me, I also did the same. There was no other key to find out my area of interest. Through different interning at different, you intern at a law firm, then you intern in some NGO, then you intern in the litigating office, then you intern with some senior advocate, you intern with a various law department in some company, and therefore you get to know what kind of work would come in and what would be my responsibility as an individual who's being employed there, who's working for that field. And then even I think talking to senior college, senior professionals of the same area where you think that you can make it would help you shape your mind and interest in determining whether you wish to go for it or not. And once that's decided, I think nobody
so
can
like
beat that.
internships are the most important. Like that's what you say. Like students should like make maximum usage of this opportunity where they're getting to intern, because that's where they'll discover.
Yes, the internship is the major key to discover your area of interest. You have 5 years. So 5 years you can intern at 10 different places and then figure out that whatever you like, you can intern at that place a second time and try your luck, and then you can decide, okay, this is suited for me. I feel comfortable here. I feel comfortable in this kind of work zone. So I can work for this. Like that's how I discovered. So this is my personal experience.
Yeah, that's great. Also, like
Yeah.
Soumya, I say that I've also done that because I'm also like a lawyer and I pursued my LLM also post that. And
Yeah.
till I was in law school, I was very interested towards practicing in litigation. But as I interned and kept interning, I realized that maybe this is not where I want to see myself. And
Yeah.
I think you learn on the go as you grow up. You
Yes.
realize certain things about your own self because apart from your professional life, even a personal individual growth is going on, and
Yeah, and then majorly, whatever you decide, then not to get affected by what the society perceives for that thing. Because I think for a female to enter into a litigation, there are a lot of societal norms that would come into play when you say that I want to litigate. So I think you should not be affected by that, and you should believe in yourself that okay, let it be whatever it has been in the past. I'll try to make
admittedly,
my
I'll say
future.
something. Admittedly, you pointed out like there are so many stigmas attached to women getting into law and being a part of the
Yes.
law fraternity that people will say like blatant. Irrelevant statements like, oh, she must be argumentative, or she might be like
Yes, yes.
someone who is very bold,
Definitely, yeah, yeah.
not a very feminine career choice, and things like that, which make people hold back from entering into fields where women can be in the upfront. So I think women like you are breaking barriers in that aspect, and
The only thing is,
so many
if I
others.
would have been affected by those barriers when I stand at the podium and argue for somebody, I feel it's better I didn't hear any of them, and then I am able to be here today. If I would have been affected and heard all those comments, I would not have been here and appearing for anybody. So I think you should not just believe in yourself. If you think you can make it, you will be able to make it and get through.
Yeah, the power of self-belief. Like that's what
Yes.
Gita says. Like you have to do what you can do at your best in
Yes.
the present.
And I think an inner conscious always plays a role. You know that, okay, I'll be able to do it. And then you try your best in that. And not to get affected by the male dominant profession that, females won't be able to make it, because we will have to ourselves prove that, yeah, we can do it. Nobody else is going to come and say, okay, she can do it and he can do it. You will have to break the barriers yourselves and be there. Only then the change will come in the mentality and the society.
That's great. Also, like there's a masters that people pursue. So India, like for people who don't understand, in India you earlier, like I think 2 decades or 3 decades back, like we used to have this traditional, you do your graduation, then you do a 3 or 4 year law course and an LLB, and then you will be a lawyer, or then you'll get registered and you're an advocate. But now, like people have opened up colleges and universities, opened up this 5 year law program. After that, also you have this masters, which is LLM, and
Yeah.
we have a trend where people go abroad, like international Europe to US to different other countries also, where they're like pursuing masters in law and then coming back to India. And quite often I see that masters is not really paying off because they're ultimately getting into litigation in corporate, which they would have taken up post law school, 5 year law
Yeah.
itself. So, what is the importance of pursuing LLM, and who is made to do LLM? Like, who is it for?
See, LLM is your theoretical specialization which you wish to achieve in a field of law. Okay, that I am good in cyber law. I am good in so and so corporate field. I am good in so and so human rights. So I would like to study more theory about it, and then I would want to become an expert in that area of law. So LLM is for that. Litigation is, see, if you go for an LLM and you come back and enter into litigation, you obviously have a knowledge and exposure better than the others who have not been there. But I think your presence in the court and arguments won't affect that, because it's the inbuilt ability or how you develop yourself as a lawyer. But definitely, if you want to teach law and may bring about a good generation of lawyers now, then I think you should opt for an LLM. Otherwise, for litigating lawyers, LLM is just an add-on degree. It doesn't help you. I don't think so. It might have certain effect on the clients that, okay, this person is an expert of this or that, but definitely it's the clientage that matters into litigation, and your ability and your relief taking capacity from the court that matters. Otherwise, LLM is for those who want to do little research in the field of law and teach law. That's where LLM will play a role, because there it is mandatory. In litigation, it's not mandatory.
That's very nice. Also, like Soumya, since litigation is a road which is full of unpredictability, I think much more than like other fields as well. Like I will take a go out on a limb and say that. But what about the certainty in terms of job security and people having livelihoods? I mean, especially like post 30, 32, 35, you have other responsibilities also. So how does like litigation come forth in terms of having a secure profession? Like, do you see it as a secure profession, and what chances are that you'll make it as a great lawyer?
Litigation is as secure, because I tell myself every day that I'm not going to retire anytime, like in any other job. You have to retire after a certain age. So I think in litigation, you grow every day. Till the day you die, you can practice before the court. So you don't have a retirement age, and that's the best certainty that law can offer to you, that you can work till the last moment that God is allowing you. But in terms of financial things, yeah, then there's a little uncertainty. But I think if you get an expertise over it and you are true to your work, I think work just flows in, and you are able to get in that certainty over the years.
So I think hard work and perseverance, like any
Hard work and consistency is the key. See, it's not like that if I don't get a case today, I'll feel depressed. Oh my God, I can't. It happens. Dark days do exist, and it happens with me also. I think, okay, let's quit this and let's do that. But we don't have to get depressed. We have to march on. We have to, just show to the society, yes, we can do it. And I think with that grail, you'll be able to make it.
That's really good. Like, yeah. And it was amazing talking to you, Soumya, because I'm sure like all budding lawyers and people entering this field and even law students would gain a lot by hearing this podcast and, everything that you had to share with us today. So thank you for being here.
Thank you so much, Palak. Thank you for having me, considering me as one of the good advocates. Yeah, it's a pleasure for me. I think it's a pleasure for me.
Thank you so much.